Get ready for dirt bikes on a grand scale. Cole Denny about to roll out. This is the 3rd annual Red Bull Imagination free riding motocross bikes. Jason Wyganen, one of the pioneers of free riding, and a motocross supercross champion, Jeff Emig here. Cole Denny going to show you how big they can go.
Starts it out with a massive backflip. Now, knack over the tower jump, looking right at the judges. This Red Bull Imagination event is a judged competition, so taking free ride, which is the spirit of just riders going out together, having a good time, riding their bikes, finding new lines. But then after they've done that for 3 days, now we put them into a competition format. And Cole Denny is your first rider out.
And he's going to leap from one side of the course to the other, literally, and the crowd is there to cheer him, and we have never had a live crowd at this event before, so that is a big change, and you can already see how it's inspiring the athletes.
Well, this section of the course here, which would be what you would call the right side section, is named K-Dub's Kingdom, okay? Named after the Supercross rider Kevin Windham, who was so famous for creating transfers and little lines on a Supercross track. So you see this section is where there's going to be a lot of smaller bowl-type jumps. You'll see them circle around the tops and a lot of steeper, shorter jumps. The other section where Cole started is where the biggest hits are.
Cole Denny out of San Diego, California. First time he's participated in this event, trying to feed off that crowd, and he is an absolute wild man on Instagram. Got famous for jumping three-wheelers off the roof of his house, but certainly he's pretty darn handy on dirt, on two wheels.
Well, Jason, you can see he's a little bit unconventional. He doesn't wear motocross gear per se, or at least, you know, riding pants and jersey. He's got his button up and his shorts. You can tell he's a bit of a free spirit himself, but now he transfers back over into the other side. Watch this fast house jump. Massive second gear wide open. Tad bit short on that. That's one of those things that the judges are going to pay attention to.
Yeah, they're looking for precision, not just tricks. They're very adamant that this is about free riding, which means hitting the big jumps, not as much emphasis on the tricks, but he's going for it anyway.
Yeah, now watch. You can see how windy it is here today when you see the trees blowing around. Here's the moon booter.
Oh, backflip! Over the steepest jump on this course.
And that's got a tailwind, so the difficulty is even higher because you don't know if you get a big wind gust.
And that is the tree jump. You can tell why. Literally, you have to clear those trees or you're going down.
Cole's having such a great time out there.
Oh, here comes the quarter pipe. He's going to go ramp onto dirt.
Huge hit. And quarter pipes are really difficult. There's a lot of technical aspects to it, and with the wind, oh, look at that. Airing it out.
Yeah, the wind has been the hot topic all week long as the riders prepare for this. We weren't sure how big they would go. No problem so far.
140 foot coming up. And that jump specifically has a massive side wind. The riders have to angle. Oh, look at that. Upside down momentarily.
Cole Denny bringing it on. Those tractor equipment there, that is actually obstacles you'll see throughout this competition. The riders can jump onto them and off of them. So many options on this course, and we're just getting started.
Are you kidding? Craziness, madness, I don't know. Everyone's going crazy on earth.
I'm not gonna not hit it.
Dream come true.
Welcome
It's a little scarier this year, huh?
to my
Everyone's going crazy.
imagination.
Time to go, man.
Well, welcome to Kansas, everyone. We are here for Red Bull Imagination. There has never been an event like this. And to really appreciate it, let's go back to the 90s when the free ride movement started taking shape. Guys were going into the hills, hitting more natural terrain, and started making video parts, which ended up on those old VHS tapes. Well, out of that came freestyle motocross. Think more tricks, ramps, and special moments like Travis Pastrana's double backflip. But now, guys are going back into the hills, hitting those big lines, and with social media being king, they have the ability to put out content almost every day. So it makes it truly special that we get to watch them in a competition doing what they do best: hit big lines and, of course, get creative.
Red Bull Imagination year one, this was just an idea in my head, and I was with Jason Baker at his facility in Florida, and he told me he had this spot that he worked at in Kansas, so that's how we came out here the first time. We had 3 weeks to build the course the first year. It's now turned into a full skate park for dirt bikes. The original goal of this whole thing was to just bring a bunch of riders together and create the content, and that's what we did, and it's kind of evolved into what it is today. Year one coming here was just a grass field, and it was kind of crazy to see the transformation in 3 weeks that Baker and his crew did.
The first year, we basically built a track and then let them, it was a free ride track. It was a proper start and finish. Year two, we decided to get away from that to get more the free riding element and give guys opportunity to have different lines and not all do the same thing, because that's more the free ride spirit. And now this year we just expanded on that even more. I mean, there's more jumps out here than we've ever had.
There's a lot of course changes, and there's so many options out here. I think last year we had 94 confirmed jumps. This year I think we have close to 120.
The steepest dirt lip that we have out here, we cut it at 80 degrees, which is obviously 10 degrees less than vertical, so that's a unique one. The tallest dirt lip is approximately 20 feet tall. Some of the landings we have out here are closer to 30 feet tall.
Year three, we're finally able to bring in an international field. We got riders from Belgium, from Spain, from Australia, and a lot of riders from the US. It's really cool to kind of create something so cool like this. Now a lot of people want in.
This was a project that started off as an athlete project. It has turned into one of the biggest free ride courses ever built by man.
I've learned to have zero expectations with Baker, because every time I expect something, he blows my expectations out of the water. So pretty stoked to be linked with the best in the biz. Now, I know this is my imagination, but just as much as it's my imagination, it's Jason Baker and his whole crew's imagination.
And Tyler would rather not stress the competitive part of this event. He's more about the riders working together to progress each other and the sport, but there are judges.
Yeah, and there's our format. 2 runs, 100 points possible each run, judged on overall impression, creativity, and style and flow.
And Jason, there's no doubt the wind is going to play a factor in today's competition. You can't go around it, so the riders will have to deal with it and just figure it out. So there's a couple things they could do. One, they could take out the features that are most affected by the wind and change up their line. That's not ideal, but that's maybe what they'll have to do today. Also, they could look at the direction of the wind and take off of the jump either more right or left, so that when they are in the air, they land on that sweet spot. So there is going to be some calculation. Also, change up their tricks. You know, someone like Axel Hodges has a lot of technical tricks in the bag, and he could use those to his advantage today.
And as mentioned, we have a pretty diverse list of athletes, riders coming from all around the world to compete.
Yeah, pure free riders, freestyle motocross competition riders, some supercross, motocross racers in there. Very, very talented field.
Yep, so you're going to see a wide variety of skills on a course that is designed to let that creativity flow. And we will start with Julian van Stippen coming out of Belgium. Now in Belgium, they don't have massive areas to hit jumps like this. Most of his work is done off of a steel ramp. He's adjusting to dirt, but he's adjusted quite quickly.
Yeah, we should note that earlier today in the final warm-up, he took a big fall, and it was questionable whether or not he was going to get back on the bike and even compete. Here he is, letting it all hang out, Red Bull Imagination.
Yeah, we'll see what he's capable of. Big bruising on his left side, and he immediately goes for the backflip.
Little bit long on the backflip, turned down, looks at the judges stand.
Upside down and backwards.
And I almost wonder if Mother Nature and that strong tailwind didn't help with him on that whip there and push the back tire around, and then he had to bring it back. Both of these jumps here at the bottom are called Dumb and Dumber. They have names, the athletes have names for almost every one of these hits on the course.
And here's the steep moon booter, which he spent a lot of time practicing on this morning for this.
It's just crazy. He's so high that you don't even see the course anymore. It's just green grass and trees in the background.
Or over the trees in this case. Wow, for a rider that was banged up in practice, you cannot tell.
if you come all the way from Belgium, you're here having the time of your life with the best athletes, best freeride athletes in the world. I mean, you have to go for it, right?
He's pushing whatever pain he's in aside as he backflips his way to the other side of the course.
Oh, Jason, did you see how the back of the bike, when he landed from the backflip, that's the windiest part of the course on top, it blew the back of the bike to his left. He landed a little short, and definitely the back end kicked out. That was close.
So that was all because of the wind, from what you could tell.
Well, I think so. I mean, that is the windiest area. And I guess when you get, I've never backflipped a motorcycle on purpose, but if you get into that situation where the wheels of the motorcycle are the highest point, right, the wind has to play a factor.
Unbelievable. Yeah, everyone was worried that they wouldn't be able to pull off their biggest jumps with this wind, but it has not stopped the riders we have seen so far, including here, Julian van Stippen.
Look at this bull right here. This is K-Dub's Kingdom. Hard on the throttle, tries a new line or a different line. He's gonna double back down. And timing is difficult when you've got the wind, and downhill jumps typically are blind jumps, so you can't see where you're gonna land. Uphill, you can see the landing. Blind jumps are just that. You have no idea, so you really have to have a lot of skill and be able to time the throttle and judge your speed.
And back into the bowl and out right in front of the crowd.
Such a cool shot right there. Hand up. He knows that he's put his best run in right now, and the fact that he's even on the motorcycle after that crash earlier today is really impressive. But to me, the judges are really going to like that run. He had a lot of creativity. He threw some freestyle tricks in there, and he did some pretty big jumps.
Quite an adjustment for someone who had never ridden this type of terrain before, including the backflip over the huge gap. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this one right here was just so impressive, right in front of the main grandstands. And that's that section I was talking about where the back of the bike got kicked out a little bit.
Just an unbelievable performance, and now he will wait on the score from the judges, and there it is, a 92. 100 is perfect, and that was darn close. So Julian van Stippen, temporarily the leader of this event. Let's send it to Tina Dixon.
Well, watching that run, you would not know that Julian had a big crash in practice earlier. How did you recover and get ready for that run?
Yeah, I don't know. I just mentally I was ready, so I feel so bad that I crashed. I was really looking for it, so the physio there helped me a lot, and yeah, I did it, so I'm really, really happy.
You're so used to riding ramps instead of dirt features like that. What has the preparation been like for you?
Just ram, actually. I didn't ride any dirt jump, but it feels good. All the jumps are so good here, so it made me in confidence for the run, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and you put on a great show that first run.
Thank you, thanks a lot.
So Van Stippen's 92, the score to beat. Event visionary Tyler Bereman takes to the course for his first of two runs, and we return. You're watching Red Bull Imagination.
I'm Adam LaRoche, live here on the E3 Ranch in Kansas. Got to spend a career playing baseball, signed in 2000 with the Atlanta Braves, played for a bunch of teams, finished up in Chicago in 16, and now I get to run the E3 Ranch Foundation. I met Tyler a few years ago. It's so cool because we come from such different backgrounds.
I was down at Jason Baker's property in Florida, Moto Sandbox. We were shooting my first Red Bull piece. Me and Jason just really hit it off about this event, and then he said, I have this property that I've worked at in Kansas, and he kind of told me the whole story about it.
When Tyler and Jason brought the idea of Red Bull Imagination, that's all I needed to hear, and I was in. For one, that's what we use this ranch for, is just random events and people from all walks of life, so this fit into that mission.
When I came out here the first time for the site check, I sat up in the tower where the course is, designed the course, drew it out around the whole property. Adam was here, had some vets here, told them my ideas, showed them my sketch, and then next thing you know, this whole thing became reality and absolutely blew my own imagination.
Through the E3 Ranch Foundation, we get to host combat veterans out here to the ranch for multiple different events throughout the year. Tyler actually reached out to me a couple months ago and said, hey, would you mind bringing some of these guys out so they can just come hang with us, so we can swap stories, maybe teach them how to ride.
Left side clutch. Nice. First try. Yeah! Yeah! Nailed it! I think you're ready for the big boy track already. You want to be centered with your chest square over the bars, and squeeze with your knees.
Yeah.
If you stand up in like a short little squat, and then you'll be able to really squeeze your knees, that'll be a lot better coming off the jump, a lot more control.
I think Tyler and this crew, they're both doing very high-risk things. So I think just kind of the mindset of being the best of the best in moto, in the freestyle world, and then these guys being the tip of the spear for our military and some of the things they go do. I think there'll be a lot in common, and those guys will hit it off and just have a blast.
Oh, he saw it, but I don't think he went for it. I'm really stoked having these guys come in. I can show them our experience out here at the Imagination course, and then we can hear about some of their experiences and just bridge those gaps and enjoy each other's presence and learn. Perfect, dude.
Oh, that's so cool to add that element in. And that's what Tyler Bereman's all about, not just winning the event, but making this a group effort with both the riders and those around the riders to really enjoy themselves. That's what free riding is really supposed to be about.
Yeah, now Tyler is taking some deep breaths right now. You can tell he is trying to get himself focused and in the zone. He has got a double-double combination that only he and one other rider have jumped in. It's the biggest line on the course, somewhere between 160 and 180 feet. And you can tell right now he is definitely going through visualizing what he wants to do, and he's trying to calm his nerves.
And he's headed right to that section of the course in the wind. Will he bust out the huge leap? When he did it a few days ago, it was 180 feet.
Yeah, he's lined up, Jason.
Here it comes. He nails it.
Perfect. Unbelievable. That is third gear, absolutely tapped out on a 450 motocross bike. That was perfect. It's about 170 feet with the wind at his side. You can tell he just wanted to check that off the list and get that out of the way. Now he can settle in and try to put together his best run.
And that was not designed to be jumped. Even though Bereman and Jason Baker worked together to lay this out, that was not a line they planned on doing. That is even more air than expected, and to do it in the wind, it's unbelievable as he heads to the tree jump. Beautiful whip there. I cannot believe what he has done.
He's got some interesting lines right here, too. This is something nobody else has jumped. Oh, he comes up way short, way short.
Well, you were talking about that line when we watched them practice, how little room for error there is on some of these hits.
Well, and you can see that it's really dry. I mean, Jason Baker and his crew, to try to keep any moisture on the top of this soil is almost impossible because of the wind, and it's really hot out today. On that section, maybe earlier today in warm-up, there was more traction, and this time, he just didn't get the drive.
140 feet in distance, that step up, and the crowd responding. This is a madman out here in his element.
The feeling from riding that quarter pipe like that and how you float is just unbelievable.
We have not seen this jump. That's 150 feet over that gap.
A little bit long, but that is the second longest gap on the course. And what I think is really impressive about the 150 is it's peak to peak. There really is just a small margin for error, and he greased it perfectly.
Tyler Bereman has brought his best.
All right, here he goes, transferring over into K-Dub's Kingdom.
Massive whip for the crowd. He spent a lot of his time doing the biggest hits. Let's see what he can do with the smaller transfer style jumps.
Here's when he's gonna take a deep breath and say, okay, now also try to remember what lines he has envisioned for himself over here in K-Dub's Kingdom.
Yeah, because
watch
as big
this
as he
bull.
is gone, the judges do look for using the whole course. So he's got to do some work over here, although Tyler always stresses it's not about winning it to him. It's just about progressing all the athletes together. The difference being he doesn't want to be the only one that does those big hits. He wants to inspire his competitors to do the same.
Okay, watch this line right here. He's going to go right through the bowl. Oh, he gets a little squirrely. He's got to get back on line. That is massive downhill. Perfect timing on that.
Yep, and that horn is the signal for the end of his run. Unbelievable. He went for the biggest jumps immediately. And he's having fun, so he's not done, even though the run is complete. And when you get a massive playground like this, it's awfully hard to get them off the motorcycles.
Whoa, looks over at the camera. That was about 145 feet right there. Nobody else has taken that line.
We said that a lot during this run. No one has taken this line. No one has taken that line. That is the creativity that Tyler Bereman wanted to incorporate into this event. And he just won't stop.
You
And
hear
those
all
are the other riders.
Yeah, the other riders and all part of the crew cheering him on.
And one more big one in front of the fans. It's the first time we've had a crowd of this
A little
big.
bit long on that.
Hard landing. Shrug that off and go greet these folks.
Well, here he is, Tyler, acknowledging the crowd. He has to be stoked on that run. Let's take one more look at it. Here is the 170 feet. Oh, unbelievable. He hits it absolutely perfect that time. This one comes up short, smashes his chin guard on his helmet on the bars, but pulls out of it. Doesn't affect him too much.
Just incredible that he went for the big hit immediately, especially in this wind.
Oh, such an insane shot here on the quarter pipe. He spots his landing.
So an incredible performance by the man who started this event, and there it is, the 96. He goes to the top of the leaderboard. Tyler Bereman's gonna edge Van Stippen to take the top spot, send it down to Tina.
A 96, and Tyler, you had to overcome so much coming into this. Off an injury, a crash in practice, the wind. Yeah, you just go out and did what you just did.
Yeah, it's been a hard week for me. I've had 3 months off the bike, 12 weeks exactly. 12 weeks my doctor said 12 weeks till I could ride. 12 weeks was yesterday, so no better place to come straight into the biggest jumps ever. But took my time all week. I've honestly only had about 45 minutes on the course over the last 3 days, so just making the best of it, doing what I can. It's pretty scary to put myself through the mindset to do all this, but just stoked to do the run I wanted, and from here on out, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, well, what a score, and I know the crowd really appreciated that run, as did the judges.
Yeah, I'm stoked to get a top score, but in my eyes, freeriding's not a competition. We all win by competing and doing the run that we wanted. So in my eyes, we all already won. So may the best man win from here.
Thanks, Tyler.
And competition will be coming from the returning champion and 9-time X Games medalist Axel Hodges, who will be the last to drop in for run one. We saw this in practice. What will he throw down when we return? You're watching Red Bull Imagination. Welcome back to Red Bull Imagination from outside of Fort Scott, Kansas. The top freestyle motocross competitors have come into the heartland to ride their dream line here in front of this Midwestern crowd. And the final rider, Axel Hodges, the 2021 champion, is in the start gate for his first run of 2.
Well, it's coming down to this. Axel is the only other rider besides Bereman that has pulled the trigger on the 170. He's lining it straight up, getting it out of the way, Jason.
Here it comes. And he throws in a trick too and makes it.
So clean. He greased it so perfectly. And the no-footed can-can. The crowd is just going mental right now. Starts off with another knack-knack here.
I cannot believe they both jumped that in this wind, and now Hodges throwing in a trick. What's he got now? A backflip as he transfers over.
Oh, and he landed a little bit sideways also. The wind caught him, but he pulled out of it nicely. Now he's over in K-Dub's Kingdom. Let's see what sort of lines he puts together and starts to link all this up. Oh, one-hander grabs the front fender.
It has been huge right from the start for Axel Hodges. He's an absolute legend on YouTube and on social media, but for the fans to get to see this in person, they're getting what they have seen on camera. Now they get to see just how big it really is. The perspective, we do our best to show you here, but it's unbelievable how big these jumps are when you actually see it in person.
Oh, there you go. Seat grab. Big hit over.
Head to the other side, over this box.
Nice.
Standing seat wheelie.
Hitting the fast house. Looks back at the crowd right there. Now that's interesting because he's whipping the bike out to the left, takes his left hand off, and actually looked back towards the crowd area.
Yeah, we saw behind him, and another backflip. It's what we call dumb and dumber, these two huge jumps.
He's just tricking every jump right now at this point. Axel's such a talented rider, once was a racer, free ride and freestyle rider. He really has a great combination of it all. Oh, on board for the backflip over the moon booter.
And a perfect landing now over the tree jump, literally over the trees. No-footed tan again.
I don't know, Jason. He's definitely pulling out all the stops right now. Let's see if he's going to turn the 180. Listen to see how hard he's on the throttle as he goes for the 140.
Massive whip. Oh, and even throws in a nose wheelie on the landing. And he specialized in this, the quarter pipe. Upside down.
Was that a can-can?
Something.
Over the quarter pipe.
Arms, legs hanging off at almost every jump.
Double
that's the 150.
Yeah, that was the 150. He went 2 tricks. He was up there for so long. He had time to do a second trip before he even landed.
Improvising in the air, saying, I got more time than I'm used to. These jumps are so much bigger than what these riders normally get to ride. Both feet off again.
Oh, little sketchy.
Yep. There's the signal at the end of the run, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get him to stop. He is having a great time on this massive course, a wall ride.
First time we've seen, first time he used all of those wooden structures right there in one line. That was sick.
And the judges want to see that, utilizing the entire course. He has done that and then some by throwing in tricks on all of the biggest hits. Axel Hodges gunning to win this event for the 2nd year in a row. And the panic rev to celebrate.
To do these jumps today in the wind is gnarly, and he tricked almost every hit. That run was incredible, absolutely incredible, and he knows it.
I cannot believe the way
he's pumped.
Yeah.
The riders have to be so happy to hear the horn and to be done. They took a lot of risk today, none bigger than this right here. Somewhere between 160 to 180 feet. I mean, look how high he is, it's insane.
To throw a trick, a no-footed can-can while you're at it, the backflip over from one side of the course to the other, and the wind starting to carry the bike to the left. It's the tree jump.
Whoa, overcorrected a little bit on that, but pulled out of it nicely.
And Tyler Bereman is the first to congratulate Hodges on taking the lead from him, because again, that is Bereman's vision, to see the riders progress with each run, even if it costs him the victory in his own event.
Well, and seeing the camaraderie here in the spirit of this event, this is what it's all about.
Well, for a free ride event, Axel, I think you just checked off all the boxes. You went massive. You had the tricks. You were technical. Just give us your perspective of that run.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever ridden that way in my life. Like this week, I just started flipping all these bigger dirt jumps. I don't have all the flip tricks, but to get over that fear has been a big accomplishment over the week. And yeah, I just tried to do a little bit of everything, and got the quarter pipe, the big jumps, the tech section, and I I know it's fun. It's just trying to hold on. It's tiring by the end of the 3 minutes. It's a long 3 minutes.
It is, but it's been so much fun to watch. And earlier today, though, the wind was an issue. Yet you came out of the gate and practiced almost the whole session.
Yeah, it still is. I mean, we all got to deal with it, though, so we're right in the same circumstances. So everybody went out there and killed it, so that just motivated me to want to go out there and do the same.
Yeah, and with that run, you just got a 98 and moved into the lead. Congrats.
Right on. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Axel Hodges has to be so pumped on that run, but I almost sense a sigh of relief that's over. It's pretty bad conditions out there, and I wonder if these guys are going to even go out for the second run or just hold on those scores.
Yeah, how much bigger could they even go despite the wind? Amazing runs there. What will they bring for run number 2? You're watching Red Bull Imagination. Welcome back to Red Bull Imagination here in America's Heartland. We are headed into our second set of runs, and currently Axel Hodges sits in first here with a 98, but we're not sure how many riders are even going to come back out due to the wind and due to the fact that they used most of their big lines in their first run, but the 20-year-old Christian Dresser is going to make a second run.
Oh, he's pumped, and he thinks that he can go out and better his score, possibly get on the podium at this point. And also at 20, I mean, he's just having a great time riding his dirt bike, right? He's getting after it, absolutely fearless.
And if you talk to some of the veteran freeride riders, they're really taking this youngster under their wing and think he could be the next big star of this type of event. So he's learning every time he goes out, throwing in a can-can. Totally sideways over this big series of jumps. Huge whip.
Jason, the rear tire was so far, it was so far in front of him, he has to physically take the bars and bring the bike back in line. Throwing tricks in just about every jump. This is the advantage of taking that second run, is everyone's gone through theirs and you know what level you have to hit it.
Big turn down whip as they move from one side to the other. Actually has a regular job, works in a shoe store. They called him a couple of days ago and said, "Why are you not here?" And he said, "I'm busy doing this." I don't know if he's gonna have that job when he gets back to California. But it is
that
worth
was a nice little trick right there. Kind of a little slack knack, just the leg off the back, but kind of opposite way. All right, he had a good time over in K-Dub's Kingdom. Now he's heading back towards the fast house jump. Nails it. Nice whip into the wind right there.
That's what they call Dumb and Dumber. These two huge gaps.
Second one is longer than the first right there, and that jump is where you really have a really big headwind. And what's crazy here with the moon booter, this is where you have the tailwind, and timing is really difficult. Oh my, the bike was backwards. He was absolutely inverted and the bike was facing backwards at one point.
Might get another one. Yeah, just up against the tops of those trees.
He's got a really good flow to him, Jason, really a nice style.
Use the quarter pipe to turn around, wheeling into the face of this little hit. Knack, knack.
Nice, really clean right there. Look how relaxed he looks. And I mean, the course out there, if I was on the bike, I would not be relaxed at all, but he just is having such a good time with it. Out for a second run, wants to entertain this crowd.
Double heel clicker, 140 feet out on that step up, back to the quarter pipe.
Working some different lines.
So Christian Dresser, the 20-year-old born in Maryland, now living in California, skying it over to the K-Dub's Kingdom again. And I've been saying this with all these riders. Because of the wind, they're all a little worried about going out, but once they're out, they do not want to stop.
Okay, so he's searching for something right now, Jason. He's got a line heading up into one of these bowls. And there's the horn.
And again, a little extracurricular activity for the crowd. Turns the side of two jumps into one big hit. And there's the grandstands. He'll greet those folks.
Amazing run, Christian Dresser. 20-year-old rider. High five in the crowd right here.
Definitely a name to remember for the future. Check this out.
Just a big turn down. Lets the front wheel fly high. Dip your left shoulder in. On board with Dresser. Perfect landing. That was a fantastic run.
The whips are just unbelievable. And that's,
Yeah, and he's got such a great style too. Look at that. This is sort of the natural whip. And right in it, I mean, look how far the bike was turned around, and then you have to bring it back. He's pumped though.
Up to 6th place, Christian Dresser. He's happy with that. And we'll send it down to Tina.
Christian Dresser was not finished after just one run. And Christian, how do you compare that second run to the first?
Yeah, I'm super pumped on it. I added a couple tricks to my run that I didn't do in the first, so I'm just stoked to be here and ride with all these guys. This course is absolutely insane, so it's just, you know, we're out here just trying to survive the week. It's a gnarly one.
What has this overall experience been like for you, having these guys support you the whole way?
Yeah, it's been unreal. I've started to get to know a lot of these guys for the past couple of years that I've lived in California, and they're all the best people I've ever met in my life. They're so down to earth, and to be able to ride with them all the time and progress off one another, it's truly a blessing. So I'm stoked on it.
So much fun to watch. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you very much.
So Christian stepped up his score. This is the rider from Catalan, which is Guillem Navas, who's, again, like a lot of the Europeans, does not have as much experience jumping off of dirt, but it has not slowed him down. He was strong in his first run and looking to improve here in run number 2.
Guillem is another one of these riders. He's just so pumped to be here, so appreciative. But when you watch his riding, it's like, I mean, he's fairly new, right? He hasn't been around for decades, and he looks like a seasoned veteran.
Absolutely. Brought his brother over here with him. They have been soaking up the atmosphere, but now it's time to get serious and go for a bigger score, maybe contend for top 3 and getting on the podium.
Starting off over here in K-Dub's Kingdom. Heel clicker there into one of these bowls, transferring in.
And that's what the judges want to see. We get excited over the big hits, but they want to see the rider be able to find new lines and use the entire facility and get creative. So he's checking that off. Got something brewing here.
Transferring over here across the Red Bull box. Here's the fast house jump. Massive hit right there. There's a huge landing on that there. It's a wide landing, so you can really whip it or use some different lines. Heading towards Dumb and Dumber one last time.
Oh, Superman!
That was nice.
This will be the moon booter jump that's coming up next, the steepest ramp on the course. And he uses it to get upside down in a perfect landing.
Yeah, now notice he whipped it to the left. Dresser went to the right. So just using a different line altogether.
Oh, we haven't seen much of this. Off of the equipment, on, off. It's a really cool little line they set up. It's not the biggest hit, but so technical.
Yeah, and Jason and I walked that area, and you're looking at it coming off of the blade of that road grader. There's not a lot of margin for error there.
Yeah, easy to.
It's pretty slow, pretty, you know, short, if you will, but pretty technical.
And then back to the big stuff, 140 feet over the step up. Nails the landing. Acknowledges the crowd. Quarter pipe.
Wow, he was totally upside down. That was a pretty big hit there too.
Yeah,
I think that might have been the highest jump out of the quarter pipe that we've seen all day.
Yeah, and a really good landing too. So again, the judges are looking for different things than we are. They want to see the technical prowess, and he's definitely stepped it up.
Yeah, using some new lines that we haven't seen anyone else use here.
Using that jump as a spine. Tyler Bereman wanted that jump to replicate what we see in snowboarding. And And he does take a lot of inspiration for this course from mountain bikes, BMX, snowboarding, skateboarding, and of course, freestyle motocross. Big turn down whip for the fans.
And you got to think one of the most difficult parts of this is trying to remember exactly what run you want to do. A big downhill double right there, because you would have tried so many different lines. Bereman mentioned that there was upwards of 120 plus different lines to hit, and you have to link it all together.
Yeah, don't get lost out there. When you need to jump 100 feet, you cannot jump 90 or 110. You got to get it just right like this.
No-footed can-can over the tree jump. Watch this off the quarter pipe. One-handed. I didn't catch that earlier. Perfect landing. Just insane shots here with the drone.
And there it is. And he's happy the score is in and is an 88, so he moves up to the top 5. Worth the second effort. Let's send it to Tina.
All right, well, if you're going to come from Barcelona, you might as well get 2 runs in. What's your reaction to that second run?
I was pretty much better. I want to be in the top 5. So I knew I had to pull a couple tricks, make some things. I had a mistake on the first round, so just fix some stuff. And yeah, be able to put 88 points, 3 points more than before. I'm stoked. So for the first year, it's not bad at all. So I'm really happy.
We talked earlier, you said that you could even be out here for 2 weeks and continue riding.
Yeah, even a month. With all of these guys here pushing each other, time's flying, you know, when you have a great time, time's flying. So it really feels like that. So we've been almost a week here and it feels like 2 days. We had an amazing time. Thank you so much, Red Bull and Tyler Bereman, to have us out here.
Thank you so much.
All right, only 2 riders left to go. You're watching Red Bull Imagination. So we have something brewing here. It's Red Bull Imagination, the evolution of free riding. Tyler Bereman has an announcement.
So we finished our first runs, me and Axel here. We did the lines that we wanted and set out to do. It's super windy, but we're free riders. We're giving the people what they want. So the last run, Axel won. Congrats, Axel, you crushed it. But we're gonna take our last run together and show these fans what free riding's all about. Stoked, let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, interesting. So this was not the way it was supposed to go. They could have gone out to try to beat each other. I don't know what more they could have done to raise their scores anyway. So now they're just gonna have fun.
Yeah, and this really is in the spirit of free riding, is a couple guys out on their bikes, following each other, creating new lines, see who can do it better. And right now, they're just high-fiving everyone, and both have decided that their first run scores are as good as it's gonna get. Axel Hodges will be your winner, but right now the fans are getting treated to some true free riding at this point.
Yeah, there you go. Completely different lines through this sector. Big whip by Bereman on the right.
Look at that spine tabletop. It's so big.
He whipped the opposite direction that most people have been doing it over there. Now they're going to talk it over. So this is cool because the fans were only here to see the solo runs. There was a lot of work like this in the days leading up as the riders learned the course, but this is the first time and only time you're going to get to see it quite like this, where they're feeding off each other in competition.
Trying to work all the elements here, going off the blade, onto the dump truck, and then transfer back over into K-Dub's Kingdom. Nope, turning it around.
Just getting some crowd response there. So Axel Hodges there on the left in green is going to be the event winner for the second year in a row. And Tyler Bereman has always said it's not about competition, it's about having fun. And that's what they're doing.
Well, they put out so much effort this week in the days leading up to this. They've taken a lot of risk, not just on their run today, but some of the most risk happens when you're out here riding the course for the very first time, trying a jump for the first time, trying to link together some lines, and not really knowing, exactly how far you're going to jump, what the angles are. But right now they get a chance to just enjoy it and really celebrate what this week has been all about.
And I'll tell you, the landings, you're jumping so far, even when you get the jump right, it's still jarring. So at this point of the week, a lot of them are definitely feeling the effects physically. Oh, Axel Hodges, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was in a full whip, and then he decides, okay, yeah, I'm going to do a knack-knack. Yeah, after the bike's already whipped out. But see him there just really acknowledging each other, having a great time, acknowledging the crowd, and celebrating what they've accomplished over these last few days.
Well, it was Tyler Bereman's imagination to put this thing together. Jason Baker and his crew at Dream Tracks turned that into reality, and now they've got the ultimate playground for dirt bikes. Maybe they got one more move up their sleeve as they head over here.
Heading over to the Fast House area.
And they're going to celebrate the conclusion. They're going to meet at the top.
I think I know what's coming here, Jason. Oh, yeah. The celebratory burnouts.
Double burnout, Tyler Bereman, Axel Hodges, the stars of Red Bull Imagination. There is your final leaderboard. Shout out to Vicky Golden. She crashed in her warm-up, was unable to compete. There is the final top 10, and again, the win for Axel. Tina?
And it's icing on the cake that we get to watch Axel and Tyler ride together. But I got to congratulate you on the win for the competition. To be able to do tricks that you've never done before on this size of course and win Red Bull Imagination for the second time in a row, what does it mean?
It's so awesome. It's been such a crazy week of trying to figure out all these jumps, doing new tricks, and today was the windiest day we've had, so that was just kind of cherry on top of being scared, but I'm glad it worked out. Everybody's safe, and yeah, it's an honor to go back-to-back. I'm stoked.
Yeah, we'll enjoy this, and I know everyone watching did as well.
Right on. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
So here's our podium. Julian van Stippen, Tyler Bereman second, and Axel Hodges our winner. What a show, Jeff.
It was, and it's just such a great event. It was cool having the fans here to get that sort of energy from the fans, but undoubtedly how everyone works together, from Jason Baker building the course and his team, Tyler, and all the athletes and the crew. Everyone's working in the same direction. Yes, there's a competition. Axel Hodges is on top, but everybody that was here today, everyone's a winner.
Yep, that's the spirit of free riding. We brought it to the masses today. Congrats, two-time champion now, Axel Hodges. And what a fun event it was to put together, and you can see all smiles on the podium because of that atmosphere. For Jeff Emig and Tina Dixon, I'm Jason Wygate. Thanks for joining us. Imagination 3.0. Congrats to our winner, Axel Hodges.